It is another Light News Radio. Self-empowerment for the whole human being. The place where sick and tired is no longer of oneself. Featuring your host, Dr. Richard Jelisich, and co-host Deirdre Layton. Together, they finish each other's sentences, laugh, and take you from feeling hopeless to overjoyed to rock your world. And now, here are your hosts, Dr. J and Deirdre.
Welcome back to Light News Studio, where you will find the realms of self-empowerment. We are in the studios of Light News. Light News Radio brings you spiritually conscious, awakened people who are walking their spiritual talk. I am Dr. J, your host, and my co-host is Deirdre Layton. We are coming to you live on iHeartRadio and Spreaker Radio. Together, we bring you grounded metaphysics, where the spiritual rubber hits the road, real-life teachings and applications that are grounded and relevant to you. Here you will find the safety way, as my teacher would put it, a place where you can breathe the fresh air of grounded spirituality while avoiding the hype and the fascination. We are all about helping you to empower your life through understanding your true spiritual nature. So come aboard our beam of light and enlighten your load as we travel the waves of knowledge and wisdom for the next hour. How you doing, Deirdre?
I'm doing absolutely fabulous. I'm energized. I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm all that stuff that, we have been busy, and I flew in last night. You drove back last night from Sedona. We had an amazing retreat, listeners, in Sedona. We were there from Thursday until yesterday, and of course Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday was adventures and full of all kinds of wonderful things with us for our journey of the Sacred Heart. And it was just a really, really good time. We had 22 people this year, and of those 22 people, I have 12 that have said they're coming back, Richard. I just went through the list.
It's amazing, too, because, we did site visits to the vortex, and we did meditations, not just to receive energy, but also to allow energy to flow through us back into the vortexes to charge them in the same way that the ancients did. I'm sorry, my phone just went off. I don't know why. But anyway.
Maybe we forgot to turn it to silent?
I did turn it to silent, but it said I'm going to effing ring anyway. But anyway, we went to the sites to give back like the ancients did to charge the grid. And one of the things we did is we had a pink Jeep tour on Saturday to a place of the Yavapai people called the Honanki people. And we saw pictographs there that were very emblematic of people who were very awakened spiritually. And we tend to think, okay, well, so many hundreds of years ago, they lived out in the desert. What could they know? Well, they had a way of relating, and one of the reasons we go to Sedona is because the vortexes enhance and help awaken the spiritual nature of the human being. And that's why we go there in reverence and respect. And of course, Deirdre, you set up an incredible venue for us to go to because you're the power behind the behind the scenes that helps makes everything flow. And I gotta say that I think everybody, I can safely say, really, really had a great time. Really got a lot out of it.
Well, I think that this was our second year. And our first year, we were kind of fumbling around a little bit, trying to make sure that we could accommodate everybody and everything. And this year, we really tighten things up a little bit, and having Kundalini yoga every morning by Lisa Steeles of A Balanced Practice was amazing. And I had nothing but positive feedback for that. And, I'm doing a plug because you and Lisa will be in Costa Rica in April teaching on the chakras and Kundalini yoga. And so any of our listeners who could not join us in Sedona, you can jump on a plane, fly to Costa Rica, and go to one of the most amazing resorts there.
The Blue Spirit Retreat. The Blue Spirit Retreat Center is one of the top 5 yoga centers on the planet, and it's in the middle of a turtle reserve in Nosara, Costa Rica, right on the Pacific coast. You can go right down to the ocean. And when I say first class, because we were there doing the same program last December, when I say first class, it was amazing. You would want for nothing there. It was clean, beautiful, huge yoga studio on the very top floor with a commanding 180-degree view of the Pacific Ocean. I mean, it's just paradisiacal and idyllic, just amazing.
Yeah, she couldn't have picked a better place to offer her practice and everything. Before we really get ourselves rocking and rolling here, I wanted to mention that we have call-ins. So if at any time someone would like to call us with a question or, just call us and chat with us, that would be wonderful. It's a toll-free number. It's 1-248-629-0921. You can also do messages live on Spreaker at Spreaker.com/user/Bold Radio Station, and that I can see your questions and everything pop up in front of me, and we can of course address them and whatnot. So it's just, we got so many ways for people to reach us. Of course, my email is info@lightnews.org, and the office number is 877-242-5721. And if you have a message sitting there that I've missed, unfortunately, I wasn't able to pick up all the messages last week when I was traveling, but I'm going to get to that today.
Yeah.
So, this is an amazing time of year. We just had our fall equinox.
Mm-hmm.
We've had, the moon. We've had everything that is just about new beginnings and growth. And I tell you, I think that having the retreat when we did just really helped with that.
Yeah, the timing was very perfect. Even the weather, the day before the retreat started, it was raining gently all day long. And then yesterday, as we assembled to travel back, you flew back to Canada and I drove back to San Diego. It rained again. And so, everything was working in synchronicity so perfectly. And one of the things that happens, like on these radio programs, is we notice the rapidity by which things are unfolding. And yet when we have these wonderful guests, like today's guest, for instance, that come on, they talk about higher consciousness and not just how to achieve it, but that you go through these rapid changes, but without feeling so dearly affected by the rapidity. You don't feel like you're a cork bobbing on the seas of emotions, So I'm very excited that we have a guest today that I've known for many, many years and will help guide us through some of these processes. We're just living in an amazing time, like you say, Dee, and I think that, our spiritual groundedness is going to serve us best as we do learn in what my teacher calls the safety way, that we do learn a practical, grounded spirituality and avoid the fascination and the hype. And especially like in my country, Dee, I know you're Canadian, but in my country, we have this presidential race going on, and it's just amazing. I've never seen anything like it in all of my voting life. Here I am, 63. I've never, ever seen anything like this. And then Pope Francis, I heard, came out today and endorsed Trump because he was, I should say, surprised that Hillary wasn't indicted or cited for lying, and covering things up. So here we have no separation of church and state, and here's the Pope, the leader of the Catholic Church, throwing his vote behind Mr. Trump.
But okay, I'm flabbergasted because Trump lies through his teeth.
Well, I looked up that. I'm
a Canadian, eh?
I looked up the Vatican website, and I didn't see anything officially coming from the Vatican. But what I've looked up so far said several news sources have confirmed that this is a quote from Pope Francis and what he says. So it's interesting to see what comes out in the mass media in the next few days, right?
And I'm just wondering how out of context that was taken, right? Because
I don't know.
I tell you, oh my goodness. Well, There you go. Everyone out there, there's some kind of spiritual awakening happening somewhere for some reason or another. Not sure. Well, I'm not sure if I agree with it, but it's not my country. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, I've
Holy
never heard you
crap.
say that before.
I'm just like
Not my
flabbergasted. I'm just flabbergasted. Holy
Well,
crap.
we'll see.
Sorry. Yeah.
I'm sure something that momentous will definitely come out somewhere in the news. So
it
we'll
has
see.
to.
We'll see.
It has to.
We'll check it out and have it verified.
Okay. Well, listeners, have it live on Light News Radio. Realms of Self-Empowerment.
Indeed.
Oh dear. But back to our original radio show. I'm still in awe. I'm sorry. That's this makes good live radio. Thank you very much for once again getting me speechless.
Yeah, well, like I said, we'll see what happens, and I think getting you speechless from time to time is actually a good thing.
It's actually a good thing. I agree with you. I totally agree. So listeners, you can reach us again. The number for calling in, and please don't ask any questions about the election, is 1-248-629-0921. And we are looking forward to bringing on our guest here. We have a guest today on our show. Her name is Gina Diane Harding, and I know Gina not personally face on face, but I have read her book, and I've talked with her many, many times, and she is a higher consciousness activator, which is so cool because she helps people to free themselves or transition from the limiting and fear-based living into a more conscious and abundant life experience. And so, she has taken many courses. She has written books. She is someone who is highly intuitive or sensitive. I would consider her, a very spiritual awakened individual, and of course she has her Master of Divinity, so she comes to things from a different perspective, which is really nice. Her former life was as a public health nurse, and she just realized over time that after connecting and reconnecting with people so many times on so many different levels that it was important for her to move forward into what she does now. So she does individual coaching, online classes, amongst many other things. Yeah. And so, Gina Diane, are you there?
Yes, I am. I'm so glad to be here.
Well, we're just really happy to have you, and we're looking forward to our time together here. And I know that you've sent us several questions, but one of the things we talked about before we actually went online is that a lot of times when we're in the flow of that spiritual energy, sometimes a question may come up that wasn't on the script, but nonetheless, serves the public good in so many ways. And I've known you, Gina Diane, for many years. When I first met you in Vancouver. Yeah. And you've always been an ardent worker in the light, a true servant of the light. And it's just such a treat to have you on our radio program today.
Well, it's really wonderful for me to be here. And it's such fun to listen to the two of you and to learn from your programs. And I'm really honored that I'm able to share some of my experiences with your listeners today, too.
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah, go ahead, Dee.
Oh, I was just going to say, we listeners, we like to invite people who have walked their talk and who are moving through life with what their true solid beliefs are in a nature of awakening themselves consciously and coming to the forefront in a lot of times, with different views and perspectives, and so we've had many different people on our show, and it's just nice that we can have people come on our show who are authentic, and that is why we had asked you to come on our show, Gina Diane, because, I would really say that you are a spiritual person because you've walked a life of many paths, have you not?
Oh, that's for sure. Yeah, I've really had a wide variety of experiences. I love exploring the limitless realms of consciousness, energy, and when you say I have a different perspective, that is something I think the listeners will probably find out today. Some of them may find it's a little bit more than what they're prepared to hear, but I think that the people who tune in are really open-minded as well, and so I hope that they'll open to some of the possibilities and the supports that I can offer.
Well, you've worked really hard ever since I first met you. I think you were a single mom and a nurse also, and that you really had, I think, a tough go of it for a while. Really forced you to focus on the certain tasks at hand that sometimes, if you like the universe as a title, the universe gives us or does for us, and that, you've flown through this in a way that when I'm teaching talks about how we develop the nature of our character in a given lifetime, by how we face our challenges and how we choose to go through those challenges defines us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had an experience when I was probably about 10 years old that kind of shaped my character and my spiritual path. My father had a major GI bleed and a cardiac arrest following the surgery. And at that time, as a 10-year-old child, you kind of, I'd been spiritual and kind of connected with God in a religious way. But I made a bargain with God at that point that if my dad lived, that I would never make him upset, that I would be kind of perfect person. And from that point on in my life, I think I probably attracted a lot of experiences that allowed me to prove that I could be a perfect superwoman. So,
wow.
So yeah,
you still have the kid?
Oh no, I retired that.
Oh, okay.
I realized that that's not part of living as a spiritual, higher conscious being. I don't need to be Superwoman. But yeah. So I a lot of well, that's okay. We'll just go from there.
No, carry on. A lot of what was your train of thought? Because I'm sure our listeners would want to.
Yeah, they want you to finish it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I asked, as I became an adult and I did connect a lot with my religion and with God, and so I got married and had a really exciting number of jobs that I really, when I look back, I was able to, I'd sort of say, to go for something. I'd take action on something I wanted, but I'd say, leave it up to the universe, or in that case, I was thinking that it was God, leave it in those hands.
Sure.
And my life manifested and unfolded really phenomenally. I got the things that I asked for. I had a number of really exciting career opportunities where I was working in the Registered Nurses Association and doing leadership conferences and working with people as a public health nurse and supporting them through really challenging times. And then I went on to become an administrator in public health. And
would you say that working with the people in the public health and being in that environment helped awaken you in some way to, who you developed yourself into being?
Well, not really. I mean, I think that the time that I actually awoke was as a result of all of the good and challenging stressors that I had in my life. I was in my early 40s. I was working on completing my master's in public health administration and working full time, taking on this key role of redesigning a huge health organization. And I was in the middle of a do-it-yourself divorce. And at that time, I think I just depleted my serotonin levels, and I experienced a severe suicidal depression. So I would say that was sort of the pivotal moment when my spiritual awakening began. I had an experience where I was walking along the river and I saw a bright light. I was planning on, finalizing the details of how I was going to actually kill myself in the next few days. And I saw this bright light and I heard a voice telling me to go see Sharon, who is a gifted energy healer I know. And she helped me to see that I needed to try and get help one more time. So I ended up being committed to a psychiatric ward.
Oh, you're
and
kidding.
I got treatment and therapy. Yeah. Like I couldn't get out.
Wow.
And I got treatment. I was, one time I was out on a pass and I was talking with my ex-husband and came back really agitated and was looking for ways to, hurt myself. And so I got put in one of those padded cells with no clothes. It was very warm. The floor, the walls, everything was really soft, and they gave me an injection of something that I went to sleep right away. But, most people would say that was terrifying, but to me, that was being safe. And a feeling of being enclosed in this safe space where, I couldn't hurt myself. And so something that, big, a lot of people don't have such a big experience to awaken them. But once I got my treatment and therapy and decided I was going to live, I kind of felt like I'd been reborn. And my focus shifted away from sort of religion. I had new ways of looking at life. And at that time, I synchronistically found the Center for Spiritual Life, which is an Ernest Holmes New Thought Church. And I got onto a healthy spiritual path. And I learned that I didn't have to do guilt and unworthiness and have unreasonable self-expectations. So I'd say that was really the key. I mean, everything else kind of led up. And the life that I had was good, but this pressure that I put on myself and the expectations to be perfect.
I know, what a singular experience. It's like going back to the womb and being reborn again by the way you describe it.
It was, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I was a totally different person. And during the course of, my career and everything was good, but I really became a changed person in my marriage, and I isolated myself and lost a lot of self-confidence. And so during this rebirth period, I actually realized that I didn't have to have the same values that I'd always had, that I didn't have to have the same beliefs, that I discovered that I I'd grown up saying a prayer every week, although I am unworthy to eat the crumbs from under thy table, thou art the same Lord whose property is always to have mercy. And as part of my mental illness,
Wow.
I totally bought into the belief that I was unworthy to live.
Oh my goodness.
I believed the world.
My goodness.
Yeah. I thought my son and the world would be just better off without me.
Wow.
And so this awakening, I realized that I was worthy, just as I was. I didn't have to be anything special or do anything special. And my connection to Source was much greater than any religious truth that I'd ever believed. My life changed, and I fully embraced my spiritual journey at that point. And, life's just gone on from there to be getting better and better every day.
So would you call that a higher consciousness then? Because one of the questions was, how do you define higher consciousness? If you went into a higher level, was that like you felt more unified with everything, or freer to decide your reactions to life?
Yeah, that's part of it. I guess to me too, higher consciousness involves something that's external to the body and the mind. A lot of scientists, that would be a contentious statement, because research that's being done all seems to tie consciousness to the mind and body. But for me, the mind can tap into a field of consciousness, but it goes way beyond that. So what I experienced is part of it, but I'd say higher consciousness is being connected to and having a sentient awareness of all that is, of Source or God consciousness. And higher consciousness exists in sort of a nonlinear, formless, timeless, spiritual realm. But as humans, we can experience that. We can get that through higher frequency qualities of joy and deep peace and being in the flow, knowing that you're deep wild.
I like how you
go ahead.
I was just going to say, I like how you put that sentient awareness. Awareness. That was just very, very cool.
I agree.
Yeah, that sentientness, I think, is part of being a spiritual, higher conscious person, being aware of the sentience in everything that's around you. And Dr. J, I know, and Deidre, from having worked with Miguel, and Dr. J from having taught with Miguel, I think we've all learned, because I've studied with him too for several years, we've all learned that, even the rocks and the water and the trees and everything has a sentient awareness.
And I got to tell our listeners, you did that. We were down in Labna one time, Miguel Vergara and me and you and a bunch of others, and we were doing a beautiful ceremony, and then we're walking through the site, and we came to this arch, and you said, I always wanted to dance in the rain. And so, sure enough, it started to rain. And so you went and you had this amazing connection. And then when you, when I saw you next, you just had this smile on your face, like it was just the most natural, most gentle smile, like one who really made an incredible connection, like, with the elementals of the grass and the air and the water and the rain. And I'll always remember that. That was just a marvelous moment.
Yeah. I'd say that was probably my first experience of infinite bliss. To be dancing during this tropical storm, this wild storm that developed at the ruin, and and it's exciting because I'm going to actually, the tool that I'm going to offer helps people to get into that blissful state very quickly, and it's so much part of my life to be able to be in bliss and to connect with everything, all our relations, as the native First Nations people say, and with energy, because everything has energy. So even my car
But that's true. But that's true because I don't know if you know, but our listeners know. Almost a month ago, well, a few weeks back now, I was in a car accident, and I could have been a heck of a lot worse than I was. But I honestly believe that my car kind of helped with all of that, and so it's been that to me has been really one thing that I notice is everything carries an energy. Everything carries an energy form of some kind, and we all have the free will of choice to engage with that energy or to embrace it, right? I wanted to ask you about your book. So you have a book that's published, and it's called From Fear to Eternity, 212 Ways to Let Go of Limiting Beliefs and Shift Your Energy into Higher Conscious Living. How long did that take you, and when did you start writing that book?
Well, it actually took me a week and a half to write, and 18 months to edit it. So it took all that I had learned from the time I had my suicidal depression and everything that I had done and taught and developed since then. And when I wrote it, it was it's a nonfiction, inspirational self-help book. And basically, I started writing, and it just flowed. And it uses a kind of unique energy framework that's quite valuable for this time in history, in humanity's evolution, post 2012. It has, if you're Googling it, you can just do From Fear to Eternity, 212 ways. You don't have to remember the whole title, but by adding that 212 ways, that'll get you to it. But it talks about, or it offers, over 212 ways. Actually, I chose that because of the 2012 sort of link.
Right.
To learn to overcome fear and overwhelm, and to manage your thoughts and emotions, so that you can start to live a higher consciousness life. So, yeah.
I love it. I really love it.
Well, that's neat that there's so many ways. There really wasn't time before the show for me to get a copy of your book, so I cannot speak of what's in it. But knowing you as I do, I am going to say that I think that would be most helpful because, Deirdre and I especially, one of the reasons we created Light News Radio was because we wanted to help people to grow spiritually, but without the fluff, without all of the stuff that goes along with the spiritual life, because, you can be a very spiritual person, but you don't necessarily have to wear purple, and hang a flower life around your neck and tattoo an Om symbol on your back. And,
No.
well, but, a lot of times, we adopt a costume, that is a representation of our beliefs. And it doesn't matter if it's spirituality or religious or if it's Western or Eastern or whatever that is. And it's because, we kind of like to advertise who we are. But, Deirdre and I have talked about this. Sometimes we think the most spiritual people on the planet you never see. They're never at the Whole Life Expos. They haven't written any books. They're not out there on the lecture circuit. They're sitting on a rock someplace, meditating day and night for the benefit of humanity, right? For the global human society.
Yeah.
We had that experience just this past week, Richard, when we were at the Buddhist stupa. And there was a fellow who was drumming at the medicine wheel. And he was doing a drumming and a prayer for someone that he knew who was ill. And as I walked up to him as he was leaving, and I said, "Lovely drumming," and he goes, "Oh," like he was really concerned. He said, "Oh, I hope I didn't interrupt anything or interfere with anything." And I said, "No, it was perfect, and it was whole, and it was complete." But we would not necessarily know of people on how spiritually developed, or that's not the right word, but connected is a better word, you are, until you sit back and just take a moment to process what they're doing and why they're there. And it was perfect. So I totally understand where you're coming from, Gina Diane, on everyone's path is their own path, and they have to work through what it is that they need to work through to get to where they need to be.
Yeah.
Right?
So what is a way that people can get a hold of you? Because we do have to shamelessly self-promote on this program. So we want to make sure we give people two opportunities now and a little later on so you can promote your work.
Okay, well, in addition to the book, I have a website that accompanies it and a Facebook page. And on the Facebook page, I update actually the web page too. I post updated tips and tools that are in keeping with the energy shifts in the last 4 years. But I also have two other ways that I work with people who are more advanced on their spiritual path.
Okay, but before you go any further, what is the contact information? What is the website?
Okay, well, I guess what I was saying is I have three, but the one for the book, the best contact would be going to www.ginadianeharding.com and using the contact form if people have questions for me.
Good.
Is there a hyphen in between Gina Diane?
No, all one word. Gina Diane with two N's in me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, GinaDianeHarding.com. Or they can type in the search on Facebook, Gina Diane Harding, and send me a message or private message me on my Facebook page.
Great. Okay. That's an easy way of reaching you. Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have an email that you give out at all?
Yeah. You can reach me also through DianeHarding3@gmail.com.
Okay, great. That's wonderful.
And do you also work remotely with people? Do you do counseling as well?
Yes, although primarily I'm doing writing and blogging on my three different websites. I do individual mentoring, and I have a VIP 2-day retreat that I offer to people where they come here and I develop an individualized program after consulting with them for helping them along the spiritual path. Yeah.
Is that on your website?
That would be on my DivineYou .academy website or on my BeyondTheInfiniteDoorway.com website. The ways that they can are the opportunity to come play with me.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay,
we'll put that up on our Facebook page so that people can reach you and reach out to you.
Yeah, because sometimes they can't remember, and they can always go to lightnews.org, and we have all that information. Plus, we put the shows on our website. You can also get it on Spreaker as downloads, and always, this way people can get back a hold of you as they wish to.
So, as a final question for you, what would be a tool that you could offer to the listeners? What would be something that you could say to them or something you could, inspire them with Because that's
I'm really into. Yes, I know that you do that. So I thought of a couple actually. I really like interactive kind of tools, and so I'd like to show you a quick way to get into the highest frequency. And if there's time, maybe take a minute to just share how you can quiet your mind, create focus with meditation on the go. So that sound okay?
Sure, go for it.
Okay, so let's start by getting into the highest frequency. Just take a deep breath in and relax. Let all the tension go from your body. Release and feel the energy zinging into every cell, every subatomic particle. And think about, take another deep breath, and think about an object or a place or an activity that results in bliss for you. Something that makes you ecstatic, rapturous. It might be something that gets your blood pumping, where you're not thinking, you're just forgetting about yourself and oblivious to everything. So think about that object or that place and that activity and just tune in and feel the bliss. Feel it growing and expanding and getting bigger so it goes even outside your physicality into your field. And just imagine your body is mixing a neurochemical cocktail of bliss that's spreading into every cell. And you may instead wish to feel extreme gratitude, because that's also a very high frequency. And as you're feeling this bliss, then release the thought or the object that resulted in that feeling and just focus on the feeling of bliss. Enjoy it. You are bliss, and bliss is you. And now ask yourselves to remember, place this feeling of bliss in your cell memory so you can access the feeling at any time. And in fact, it's a good idea with any new practice to do it frequently in the first few days so that you'll lay down new neural pathways and it can become a habit and just really easy to get at any moment. Mm-hmm. So still feeling that bliss, staying in that feeling. Open your eyes and stay in the present moment and just look around at your environment and connect with something of beauty, art, or look at a window, connect with nature, and focus on it by describing out loud what you see for 1 minute. And I encourage you to try this. You can do it now as I'm talking, while just speaking over my voice, or you can listen to kind of get an idea of what I mean and try it later. So for me, I look around and I see a beautiful multicolored peacock ornament with lovely jeweled colors of green and gold and red. And then I see a print of Archangel Michael with golden wings, the light shining on him, as if encasing him in a pyramid. And he's holding a white, pure heart in one hand, and his sword is planted in the clouds. And he's looking up as if offering the heart to the beautiful golden orb of source energy above him. And I look around and see the gorgeous evergreen trees just outside my window, swaying slightly, waving hello. And the blue sky, which enhances the colored fall leaves on the trees across the courtyard. And I hear the Canada geese honking greetings as they fly by. I feel a slight breeze gently kissing my face and my bare feet. And then once you have spoken for about a minute, focusing on and connecting with something be quiet, and you'll notice how you are fully present in the moment. Most people find they experience more mental clarity as well as a more peaceful state. And so those are the two tools that I hope will help you to connect with higher consciousness.
Oh, I definitely left.
Thank you so much for that.
That was
it was amazing. Yeah.
Very, very enriching, Gina Diane. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Thank you for being on our show. And listeners, you can reach Gina Diane at gina-dianeharding.com or beyondtheinfinitedoorway.com. And she is on Facebook. You can find her at Gina-Diane Harding on Facebook. And she is also on Twitter at Gina Diane with no hyphen. So
right. Actually, there's no hyphen. There's no hyphen in the other ones. It's just GinaDianeHarding.com or Facebook, Gina Diane Harding. No dashes.
Okay.
Yeah.
No dashes. And Diane, it's Gina GinaDianeharding. Gina Diane Harding. Well, thank you so much for being on our show today.
That was just
wonderful. I really, really enjoyed it. Oh, thank you. It's so great to be together with the two of you. I just want to give you a big hug.
As we do to you, and listeners, if you ever need to get in contact with Gina Diane and you forget, just give us a ring. You know, I'm still altered. Lightnews.org.
Good.
Lightnews.org. And our number is 877-242-5721 or email info@lightnews.org.
Yeah, just delightful.
Oh, that was amazing. And so we now have to go into all of our stuff. Right?
I know. Well, you know, there's quite a calendar there. I don't know if you saw your script in front of you, but I mean, just for you to read through what's happening. Wow,
I think
we got a lot on the go, as you like to say.
We have a lot on the go. Well, this weekend, for listeners, if you haven't already, there are still some spaces left. Dr. Jelicic is teaching in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and we are teaching over the internet, either via Zoom or Skype. And I'm really sorry that I can't tell you which one yet because we're still working on getting Zoom up and running.
It'll probably be Zoom, but we're getting there, guys. We're getting there.
So October 1st, intuitive flower reading class it's an advanced class for his graduate students. But on Sunday, the 2nd of October, is the Art of Tarot, and it's a one-day class guaranteed for you to understand what the tarot deck is. There will be information that we can send out ahead of time to you to review before the class, and it's just going to be an amazing class.
Yeah, these are both in person and online.
Yes, as most of our classes are moving to. We also will be offering on the 10th of October, of course, our free
energy balancing
at Families Matter in the northeast of Calgary between 7 and 9 p.m. We have a new our group 16 students will be getting together on the 16th of October, and I will be teaching that class as Dr. Jelicic will be in Salmon Arm, British Columbia, and you're going to be working with Tyson Bannigan. Yeah. And you can find out on Tyson's website, which is Tyson Bannigan .ca. So it's TYSONBANIGHEN.ca. You're having a lecture with the Shuswap Questers. You are doing on the 13th and 14th private sessions. Flower readings on Friday the 14th,
Yep.
Saturday will be a workshop called Awakening the Authentic Self. Sunday will be a workshop on chakras, doorways to higher consciousness. And we'll also be doing more classes at the end of the month. This is just Canada. I haven't even touched the US yet.
Yeah.
With mediumship on the 29th of October, and then a public event, Doors to Higher Consciousness, on the 30th, and it'll be discourse and discussion with Richard, $30 per person for the day. And again, we will have our Zoom up and running so that people can Zoom in questions. Zoom in. That sounds amazing. Zoom
I like
in.
that. Yeah.
I like that. And they'll, so that's what's going on. So now we do the flip side, and we just had an amazing week. We just had an amazing week in the U.S. in Sedona. Yeah. And so we're still all up and high with that. But tomorrow night, you are at the Professional School of Bodywork, the International.
No, that's tonight, Dee.
Is that tonight?
Yes, today is the 28th, so tonight.
I'm still all warmed up from Sedona.
It's a free lecture tonight at the International Professional School of Bodywork, IPSB. It's a Q&A with me, so it's very informal, and it's a free lecture. Did I say it was free? And then tomorrow night, which you don't have on your schedule, but tomorrow night is the very first of a 10-week course I'm teaching through the California Institute for Human Science, that's CIHS.edu, called The Theories of the Chakras. And it's a 4-unit, 40-hour course that anybody can take. You don't have to be going for a degree. You can actually audit the course. So if you're interested, CIHS.edu, Theories of the Chakras, a 10-week course.
And anybody can register for that. So, you know, jump online and do that. And I think you would really enjoy it. And in the US, the courses and events that we were offering in Canada are also available through Zoom to the US or to Europe or Japan, anywhere. So so even the dark side of the moon. So we can definitely have you come on in and join us. So please do take a look at our website, www.lightnews.org, and scroll through the calendar of events. If you cannot find what you're looking for, drop me an email, info@lightnews.org, and I will definitely get back to you at my earliest convenience. So, do I move on to page 2?
No, I was going to say, did you lost your place, did you? Well, one of the things we've been doing for a couple years now is we've been offering free energy balancing in Calgary, and we have a lot of students and graduates there. And so occasionally I'm there to look over things, but Deirdre is there, and it's the second and fourth Monday of the month. But now we're also giving free energy balancing in San Diego at the Tara Healing Center in the Hillcrest area every first and third Thursday of the month. So that's October 6th and 20th. So if you ever lose your place or forget which night is which, just go on to lightnews.org and look at the calendar, and it's all there laid out for you, very easy to follow. But we want you to know this because so many people love to come. The very first night we did it in San Diego, we had 12 people come for free energy work. Well, so we're just very happy to have the public.
We've some nights had 20 some odd people and 5 students, so people just really get intrigued and have a lot of fun, because once you're finished, once they've worked with you energetically, they give you an idea of what's going on in your life, what you can do about it, how you can do that, and it's amazing. It's amazing. So do check it out. And you're also going to be you've got levels 12 and 13 coming up October 22nd and 23rd for the San Diego group, and there'll be free energy balancing with that too, and you'll be at the Tara Healing Center or possibly in someone's home. I think.
Which one?
Have you for October 22nd and 23rd? For
October 22nd and 23rd for the San Diego group. That will be probably at the Tara Center, although we're not sure yet. I'm so glad you brought that up. I will have to look into that. So if it will more than likely be at the Tara Healing Center because we're offering free energy balancing. We like to do that in the public place.
Yeah. And then in November, on the 5th and 6th of November, you will be in San Jose, California. And again, free energy balancing for anyone that wants to come out. And, if you're wondering what the hell we're talking about, you can go to our website, www.lightnews.org, and look at and see what Dr. Jelicic does. And there's a lot of information there.
I've been teaching a 2-year course in how to do energy work to students in the U.S. and Canada. I've been teaching it over 17 years. And sometimes students say, I don't know if I want to do something for 2 years. Well, it's just a weekend 4 times a year plus practice, but it teaches you how to do what we like to call spiritual energy work. So you start understanding the chakras and the disposition of how the chakras affect the intuition, how the intuition has a perception of reality, and you get really, really deep into a much more holistic understanding of what is called the whole human being. And so it is my love. We're starting new courses in San Diego and Calgary later this year. So if you're interested, go to the website. November. Go to the website, lightnews.org, and check it out because we're taking student registrations now.
That's true. We are. And of course, if you're going, well, I'm not sure what that's all about, give me a shout, 877-242-5721. And I will call you back at my earliest convenience, or drop me an email at info@lightnews.org. So our next major project with you is Costa Rica, Kundalini Yoga and the Chakras at the Blue Spirit Retreat. And of course, that's with Lisa Steeles. And you can go to A Balanced, spelt with an S. Practice.
A balanced practice. Practice is spelled with an S. A balanced practice. Is it .ca or .com?
I have just totally forgotten. So
I'll look it up.
There we go. That's okay. Anyhow, if you look up Lisa Steeles and A Balanced Practice after that, it'll pop up. Google it. It'll pop up. We're still working on some final details for our plant medicine event in June of 2017, where Miguel Angel will be coming to Canada.
It's .com.
And then, pardon me?
It's .com, by the way.
It is .com. Cool.
Yeah.
There we go, everybody. It's .com. And in 2017 as well, we will have our 3rd annual Journey of the Sacred Heart meditation retreat to Sedona from the 21st to the 26th. And I will start the early bird registration in January. And I will have more information coming to you, but it'll be the same. Breakfast is included. The lunches are included. A final night dinner is included. Fun is included. My laugh is included.
Well,
it was great.
Yeah, we had people fill out evaluations, and they were all in the superlative. So it just tells us we're doing something right, and it's meant to happen. So, our 3rd annual Journey of the Sacred Heart Meditation Retreat in Sedona is happening next September, and we do have plenty of room, but there is a limit to how many people will take. Otherwise, it just gets too big. So, just check your intuition. You'll know if you're supposed to go, you'll be there.
And I also wanted to point out, if you enjoy our radio show, please share it. You can find us on iHeartRadio. Of course, you can find us on Spreaker Radio. It's on our website. We also are on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Twitter. We have the Light News YouTube channel.
Okay.
And so we've got a ton
And we got to
stuff
say goodbye, Dee.
We do after we announce our October 12th show will be Scott Lauder. And I'm looking forward to having Scott on our show as well. So there you go.
Right.
You have a minute.
All right. Well, we did it. Another show in the can, as they say in the movie business. So I want to thank everybody for listening. We love you very much. And it is our service work to help you to empower your own life. And as always, may the principles of harmlessness and compassion be the ever-present, ever-constant guide of your every intention, of your every thought, and of your every action. And so it is, and so it shall be. It is done. Stay attuned, everyone.
Thank you for joining Light News Radio, where you are self-empowered for your whole being. Connect with us at www.lightnews.org.